Welcome to Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm Buffy. To give you a little bit of information about me, I am a women's lifestyle creator on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. My goal is to learn information that some people may not know, to give them that information and allow them to level up in that particular area of their life if that's what they're looking for, and then ultimately be able to live their best life and motivate their children to do the same. So, and kind of keep leveling up, right? And also, I have this thought about potentially trying to grow a community with women who are leveling up and chasing their dreams and living the life that they want to live, and potentially be a legacy for all of us and our children, and just keep encouraging them to live the great life and that it's actually possible. So today is part 2 of a 3-part series on success. And by success, I mean what other people's version of success are. But we aren't talking about what other people want for success. We're talking about what success means to you. Yes, you. Because ultimately, we want you to live a life that you want to live, that you're happy to live, that you feel lit up and charged and ready to go and seize the day, right? Carpe diem, right? Remember Captain, my Captain? Robin Williams, such a great role. So today's podcast is entitled The New Definition: Peace, Presence, and Purpose. What if the way we measure success shifted from doing more to feeling more? What a wonderful world that would be. Think about how many people in the working world who are successful often battle with depression, anxiety, as well as insomnia, somatic symptoms, headaches. Some of them struggle with addictions, whether it be alcohol, whether it be food, whether it be drugs of some kind. Does that sound like something that people who are successful are happy? If they're dealing with all those wide gambit of things, are they just trying to enjoy the spoils essentially of their success, but not really equating it with what the cost is? Because oftentimes there is a high cost to success. I remember after going through law school, there was an attorney who I really, really admired and looked up to. And I remember him looking at me and saying, just so you know, being an attorney is extremely difficult. No one's ever going to be happy with what you do. There's always going to be more that you can do. And you're going to probably, he's like, I have a bunch of ulcers. I have anxiety. I struggle from depression sometimes. And yeah, sometimes I don't even want to get out of bed because I don't know what will be waiting for me at the end of the hallway today. So you think about stuff like that. And like dentists, for instance, I mean, they have a high self-harm rate. A lot of attorneys have a high self-harm rate. Several attorneys, when I lived in another state, actually had died from massive heart attacks. And you think about that. I mean, that for me is not a definition of success. They work themselves to the bone, basically, working all hours of the night. Some of them struggled with, issues with having to go through divorce, having to share their children with their spouse because they were no longer together. That to me is not a definition of success. I'm not putting anyone down. I'm just saying that is not my definition of success. And I know a lot of people would not consider that to be a definition of success. Yeah, money's great, sure. I mean, you go on vacation whenever you want and all this other stuff, but there's always an opportunity cost, always. So what if we started trying to feel more alive, more present, more aligned with what matters most? People, our relationships are what matter the most, right? Money will fade. You can't take what you have with you. Success doesn't have to be about doing more. Today's episode is going to redefine it around what brings peace, purpose, and fulfillment. In episode 2, which is this one, we guide you to redefine success by examining your values, cultivating presence, and measuring fulfillment instead of external achievements, which are going to leave you cold most likely. We're going to talk about some storytelling, some introspective prompts, and soothing narrative to help you start living a life aligned with your heart, family, and personal growth. Welcome back. If you listened to the first episode, you've already begun noticing where traditional definitions of success have shaped your life. Today, we're going a step further. We're starting to build a new definition, one rooted in what actually matters to you. Not to your neighbor, not to your best friend, not to your mom, not to your dad, not to your grandma or grandpa, you. Imagine just for a moment that success isn't a checklist. Imagine it isn't an endless climb. Imagine it's a quiet morning where you're sipping tea, your kids are laughing nearby, and you feel aligned. You feel peaceful. That's the feeling we're aiming for, not the next promotion, not the next milestone, but the calm, steady sense that your life is in rhythm with your values. Take a moment to reflect. If success felt like peace, presence, and purpose, what would it look like in your life today? Jot it down if you have a journal. Now, let's talk about values. What really matters to you? Family, creativity, freedom, health, connection, growth? Make a list of your top 5. Take your time. This is the foundation for building success on your own terms. Here's a gentle practice. Pick one value. Let's say connection. Ask yourself, how does my life reflect connection right now? Where am I spending time with those I love? Where am I disconnected? Notice your answers without judgment. Awareness itself is a powerful shift. Next, we'll explore measuring success by alignment instead of output. Instead of asking, did I finish everything on my to-do list? You could ask, did I live today in a way that honors my values? This subtle shift changes everything. It moves you from chasing approval to cultivating fulfillment. And here's the secret. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start small. Maybe it's 10 minutes of morning reflection. Maybe it's a phone-free dinner. Maybe it's saying no to one commitment that drains you. Each step is a stitch in a new life fabric. Your life fabric. Take a moment. Which one small change could you make today that reflect your values? Write it down. Feel it in the body. Let that be your definition of success for this moment. We'll continue in the next episode by exploring how to live this redefined success daily. Cultivating rhythms that protect your peace and bring your values to life. For now, breathe, notice, and honor the alignment you've already begun to create. Thank you for tuning in to Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress, and I'll see you in episode 3. Have a great day. Bye-bye.